Welcome to EdTech Tuesday. I'm Jennifer Gibson.
And I'm Rich Dixon.
And today we're going to be reviewing another math app. Rich, what is the name of this one?
It's called AnimalWatch, and it's a free app that can be downloaded from the App Store.
And one of the things that I thought was really interesting that we were talking about prior to this filming was that this was developed by the University of Arizona.
Absolutely. It was developed through a grant with the National Science Foundation and is freely distributed, hence it being free in the App Store.
Let's take a look.
All right, so let's take a look. We're going to go ahead and launch this app. And right away, we get a feeling for what it's about. We see word problems, and then there's skill builders, and then My Progress, a reporting tool. We'll dive into this in just a minute.
Individual or whole class?
I would say that this would be individual. You could do some small group guided practice instruction with this as well. But I would really see this as being designed for an individual.
Okay, and grades?
Grades, I would say third.
That's what I was thinking, third
all the way
through
through sixth grade.
Okay.
So let's take a look at the first section. It's word problems. So I'm going to go ahead and select that. And we see that we get these different practice problems that are embedded some background information all around science and biology and things that are of great interest.
It's great.
So I tap on an animal, for example, and I see an animal, and I can find out more information on it. I have some text on the right. I can click that little symbol there. There's notes where the picture was taken, who's by, all of that.
Copyright.
Yeah, absolutely. So once we're all set there, we can tap on the little white bar at the bottom and we move on to actually practicing things. So in this case,
will it read to the student or no?
No.
Okay.
So it does require some reading skills.
Okay.
But the ornamental snake, in this case of Australia, gives birth to live young. We'll just run through this as an example. Three females give birth. One had 11 babies. The second had 8. And the third had 3. How many new snakes were born? So we tap inside of here, and the keyboard automatically pops up, and I'm going to take a wildly crazy guess here and see that it's not correct. And so it gives us a hint, though.
That's nice.
How
That's
many?
Great.
It tips us off to the language that's being used in the word problem, which again is a great and helpful way to go. I'm going to go back to the home section there and move down to skill builders, the second feature inside of here.
Okay.
These are all different facts. Math facts.
Nice.
I've already taken a look at addition, so you can see that there. But then there's vocabulary builders and whatnot. Lots to explore.
So they could work on the skills that they need extra support on.
Yeah.
Great.
It's an excellent one. So let's go ahead and take a look at multiplication facts number 1. Again, it gives us a few little bit of instructions. And then it gives us a timer.
Is there any way to work the problem out? Is there some sort of...
There's not a handwriting section here. On some of the word problems, I did notice when you go to actually work on the problems that there's a pencil symbol. You click on that and there's an area where you could write with your finger or a stylus, but not in these math fact practices here.
Right, okay. So they may want paper and a pencil to work with.
If it's for some of these math facts, they may want that if that's something that you want them to have paper and pencil for. But then it continues to give me a number of different practices.
Okay.
And
it's
at this point, we move all the way through. And we have to continue to move all the way through in order to successfully move on. I'm going to give us a few wrong answers in here just to mix it up a little bit. And voila, we see results.
Oh, nice.
What's really nice is that we can see exactly what was missed.
And they can try again.
They can try again.
What does view history do?
Let's take a look at that. Inside of here, the total number of time and correct and wrong.
Okay.
And we've talked about this with other apps, but this might be a great opportunity for the student, or if there's an adult working with the student, to take a snapshot of the student's progress at this point. Because I don't see a way to email that or share that otherwise. And so just as a reminder, you can take a screenshot by pressing the home button and the power button, also known as the wake sleep button, simultaneously, and then a snapshot of this will be found in the Photos app on this same iPad. So a student could then email it to a teacher, or a teacher could retrieve it from that iPad.
Right, this is great. There's a lot of nice features in here.
Absolutely.
I think there's some pros that we definitely can see. The cons being that it's for an individual student, not a group. I think having more workspace would be nice for those students who have difficulty with some comprehension and reading. It'd be nice if it had a reader in there and some just ability to define some of the vocabulary words, but it did have the hints.
Yes.
Anything else you want to add?
Again, back in the skill builder section, I do like the fact, and I think this is a huge plus, is that there is a vocabulary section, and I do want to point that out. And that's a really, really nice one to explore to help build up the language skills around being able to be successful with mathematics. So it is an app that I do recommend, and I think there's a lot of advantages for using this in the classroom.
Great.